Indianapolis Motor Speedway has always been the frontier of innovation for the sport of auto racing. From its first concept, the Speedway has attracted men of vision. At the turn of the century, Carl Fisher conceived a giant 2.5-mile track, paved with brick, destined for history, a proving ground for the automobile. In 1911, when the first Indy 500 was run, Ray Haroon, an automotive engineer for the Marmon Company, was brought out of racing retirement to drive. In a day of two-man cars, Haroon drove alone, his victory assured a place in history. By the 20s, the Brickyard was firmly established as the center of the racing world. America's World War I flying ace, former racing driver Eddie Rickenbacker, purchased the great track, now used only one time a year for the 500. Under Captain Eddie, traditions were firmly set. A drink of milk to the winner, a large silver Art Deco trophy to celebrate the win. The men that raced in Indy were called away to the Second World War, and the Brickyard fell to ruin, all but forgotten. But another visionary arrived at war's end in 1946.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Tony Hulman envisioned a future with giant grandstands, 200-mile-an-hour race cars, and crowds larger than the world has ever known. Now, Tony George, Hulman's grandson, follows the dreams of the great men who have led the Speedway. Tony reasoned that this cathedral of IndyCar racing was ready for a new tradition, NASCAR. Ray Haroon's face was the first on the Borg Warner. Whose name will start the list on the new PPG trophy? Or might it be 23-year-old Jeff Gordon, who grew up a few miles from the Brickyard? Last May, he became a proven winner on the NASCAR circuit. He always dreamed of racing here, but never would have guessed it would be in a stock car. By day's end, there will be new history. 400 miles from now, the Ray Haroon of this age will be known. A new tradition begins. NASCAR has come to the Brickyard. Live from the world capital of auto racing, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, ABC Sports presents the inaugural running of the Brickyard 400. You are about to watch the making of history.
Bob, these fellows have rode by all these people. They have never seen as many fans as we have here at Indianapolis today. They are excited, but in just a moment, it's back to business.
They work through the north end of the racetrack. Now between turns number 3 and 4, Rick Mast on the pole in car number 1. It's Dale Earnhardt on the outside of the front row. Jeff Gordon will start from 3rd position. Now they make their way around corner number 4 as Elmo Langley has the pace car positioned to pull it off of the racetrack. The eyes of the entire sports world are focused at this moment on 300 acres of real estate in the northwest section of Indianapolis, Indiana. A new tradition begins as the green flag is about to come out to signal the beginning of the inaugural Brickyard 400. And the green is out.
And now, Bob, it's just another race. All the hype is over. These guys now can worry about winning the first Brickyard.
Can they race 2 abreast through the corners? You bet they can. We saw it in the first and second corners. Rick Mast has the lead as they come down the backstretch with Dale Earnhardt tucked in right behind him, but Jeff Gordon is trying to make a move on Earnhardt for the second position in the 3rd turn, but he did not get it. Now Mast still has the lead as they head through corner number 3 into corner number 4.
And that move that Jeff Gordon made on the inside of Earnhardt probably let Rick Mast lead that first lap.
In 78 previous runnings of the Indy 500, 151 different drivers have led a lap. Rick Mast has become the first to lead a lap in the history of competitive stock car racing, and that's the first time he has ever led a first lap of any race. Earnhardt, as a matter of fact, touched the wall as he came out of turn number 4. Watch this. He's running in 2nd position at this moment. This was last lap ago. Oh, he hit it pretty good, Benny.
He hit it pretty good, and I'm sure that Richard Jonas and that crew are concerned. Bill Elliott has gotten by him, and here's a lot of other cars trying to get by Earnhardt down the front straightaway. Look at him, 4 abreast.
At the line. They're four abreast in a battle for position as Jeff Gordon has taken over the lead from Rick Mast.
But Mast is coming back on the inside trying to retake the lead, but Gordon holds it coming off the second corner.
Jack Arute has a report on Dale Earnhardt.
Well, Bob, Dale Earnhardt and Rick Mast came together on the start, and in that shunt, they think they may have bent the rear just a little bit. They're not sure down here. In fact, they are trying to radio to Dale right now, but they are going to try and keep him out as long as possible. That's why he hit the wall coming out.
Well, Benny, he hit it hard enough that he could have very definitely sustained some damage to that car.
Yes, he did, Bob. There we see Jeff Bodine, the Exide battery car, won the race at Pocono about a month ago.
And we are yellow for the first time in the inaugural Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Huge break for Dale Earnhardt. Huge break for Dale Earnhardt.
There is debris in turn number 1. That's the reason that we are under yellow for the first time in the inaugural Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. We'll be right back. Jeff Gordon from Pittsboro, Indiana, is the leader at this point. And here's our host, Paul Page.
Well, get those game cards ready now. It's time for the Budweiser Pace Car Sweepstakes. The 300-mile leader, as you saw, was Jeff Gordon. So write down Jeff Gordon on your 3x5 card, and you could win one of 4 1995 Chevrolet Monte Carlos, the official pace car of the Brickyard 400. And stay tuned for the final lap. It's your last chance to win. Brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. So Jeff Gordon is still the man to watch at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as he continues to pull away from the remainder of the field. Of course, he has some very personal aspects riding with him. Most of his life, he grew up not far from here, graduated from high school close to here, and did most of its early racing right here in central Indiana. 16 changes thus far among 11 drivers in a race in which we have proven that you can, in fact, run side by side in a stock car at Indianapolis. Now back to Bob Jenkins and Benny Parsons.
It's been a very competitive race.
It has been a competitive race, and it looks like that you can come home again. Jeff Gordon is back in Indiana, where he grew up, and is doing very well.
There is the interval once again between first and second. Jeff Gordon displayed so much emotion when he won his first NASCAR Winston Cup race earlier this year at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I can imagine what it's going to be like if he should hold on to win this one, but we still got a long way to go. Gordon led after 120 laps, the average speed 128.6. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, Bob, this man was accountable for the first stock car ever to test at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that was an IROC car. Ray Evernham was with IROC at the time, and now you're the crew chief on Jeff Gordon's car, and it looks like so far it's been a Sunday in the park for you guys.
I don't know about that. You know, it's a lot of tough competition out here. Jeff just picked up on his place. He's doing a great job. My hat's off to all of these guys that worked so hard getting this car ready. I'm really happy.
But early on, you had a push. It seems to go away as the race goes on, and then it sneaks back. Right now, what's he reporting on the car condition?
Well, our car's pretty balanced, and as the sun goes in and out, we've been playing with 1 or 2 pounds of air pressure, and that's all we've done. We had a little bit of problem with a jack on a pit stop and got us a little behind, but, you know, we just got our fingers crossed, and we're praying to God we want this one real bad. And I want to say hi to Casey Elliott, Ernie's son. He can't be here, but we're looking after you, and you just keep fighting.
And Benny and Bob, when you ask Jeff Gordon who's accountable for his success in the last year and a half, he points to this man right here. He says communication is the key in auto racing, and he says he and I communicate excellently.
Jeff Gordon is trying to become the second person to win races at both Daytona and Indianapolis in the same year. A.J. Foyt won the Pepsi Firecracker in 1964 in the Indy 500, and Jeff won the Busch Clash this year at Daytona. There are 30 laps to go. 130 laps have been completed.
And if they do, can he keep Jeff Gordon behind him?
Exactly. Gordon has been the best car on the racetrack, but it could come down to the pit work. There is the opening of pit road.
And Jeff Gordon's crew, they call themselves the Rainbow Warriors.
Those on the lead lap are able to pit this time by. All others cannot pit this time, but can when they come around again. Gordon leads Irvin Wallace, Elliott, and others at 55 miles an hour down pit road.
Had a brush over there, brushing off the front of the car. Jeff Gordon changing the right side, brushing the grill off. Jackman comes around. A chassis adjustment. Put one around the wedge in the car. Rusty's moving. Ernie's moving. Jeff Gordon is moving, but Rusty Wallace is going to beat him out.
15.9 second pit stop for Rusty Wallace. And he beats his competitors out of the pits. Very important track position. Jeff Gordon will restart in second position. We've been monitoring his radio, and he says regarding his second position, that's all right. We've got now about 27 laps to go, and we can beat them on the racetrack. But that is the question right now.
He's got to pass him, and then we found that passing at this racetrack can be difficult. Sterling Marlin in the 4 car was running 6, had to come back in the pits. He's all the way at the tail end of the long line there, back in 17th spot. But meanwhile, it's going to be decided between those first 5 cars. I think our winner will come from Rusty, Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvan, Brett Bodine, or Bill Elliott.
Let's watch Jeff Gordon, because we also hear that he's been told to try to get Rusty on the restart. Get this pass over quickly and then pull away. Well, let's see if that happens when the green flag comes out. The cars are now entering turn number 4. The pace car about to pull off the racetrack for the restart of what could be the final segment of racing in this inaugural event. They come slowly off of corner number 4. Wallace at the head of the line. Gordon is second. Then Ernie Irvan. Then Brett Bodine and Bill Elliott.
There we see Rusty accelerate. He's on the throttle. Now he moves down to the inside, trying to protect that inside from Jeff Gordon.
Jeff is not going to be able to get the advantage on the restart. Here they come into the first turn, and Rusty's got the lead. And now we continue to think about the Roger Penske connection. He's the owner of this car, driven by Rusty Wallace. He won the Indianapolis 500 this year. He has won it 9 previous times, but Gordon makes a move to the inside in the backstretch. Does he have the lead in 3? Yes, he does.
Now then, Rusty and Ernie Irvan almost made contact as they came off that second corner. Here's Rusty trying to get back on the inside, and he is back on the inside, Bob.
Jeff has got to give him room. They're going to come through turn number 4, side by side and onto the straightaway. Some great racing, and again they touch as they come down the straightaway. It's Wallace to the inside and Jeff Gordon to the outside, and Ernie Irvan is a factor too.
Now, Jeff can't get back to the inside because Ernie is there. Jeff Gordon's going to try to pass him on the outside, Bob. Can they run 2 abreast through the corner? You bet you they can.
Gordon goes back ahead as Rusty gets a little loose in the second corner.
And here comes Ernie. Brett Bodine trying to follow him.
Jeff Gordon protecting that low line, but he is moving away from Wallace, who may have a problem.
It looks like Rusty has a problem of some kind.
So now it is Jeff Gordon and Ernie Irvan and Brett Bodine and Bill Elliott who are running 1st through 4th. Darrell Waltrip is in 5th position, and Rusty has fallen back to 6th.
Rusty did not go for the pit, so evidently he does not have a problem. Just got the car a little bit loose.
Gary Gerald is in Rusty's pit. Welcome back to ABC's live coverage of the Brickyard 400, and we have a new leader, the 13th different leader of the race. Ernie Irvan has gone around Jeff Gordon.
But Jeff Gordon is right there. Ernie hasn't went any place.
The question is, Jackaroo, did Jeff Gordon allow Ernie Irvan to go around?
Well, Bob Jenkins, what happened is he's been battling a loose condition, so Gordon radioed in and said the car's getting looser and looser, and the call was made from the pits, let Ernie Irvan go by, save it for later. And then they ended the conversation with being told, they said to Jeff, remember, you're the man today.
But is he?
We're going to find out. This is a classic battle, a Ford, a Chevrolet. thought it was going to hit the wall.
It looked like they came off the corner very, very high. 18 laps to go now. Jeff Gordon chases Ernie Irvan. Brett Bodine is third, Bill Elliott fourth, Rusty Wallace is fifth, Darrell Waltrip is sixth, and Dale Earnhardt is in seventh position.
Tell you what, it looks like Jeff Gordon almost grazed that wall coming off that corner with 18 laps to go. And remember what happened 18 laps to go? Emerson Fittipaldi hit the wall with just 18 laps to go, allowing Al Unser Jr. to win the 500, the Indianapolis 500. Now, Ernie's getting a little loose. See that wiggle in the back of the car?
Yep. Gordon took a look to the inside as they came down the straightaway. Let's see what his strategy is as they come out of 2 and head down the long back stretch. He's tucked right on the back bumper of Ernie Irvan. Now, once again, takes a look to the inside, but he'll make no attempt to make the pass.
I tell you, Bob, that must be an exceptional engine in that 28 car, because they had a problem with it yesterday. Rather than go to a backup engine, they took that engine apart, took the oil pan off, took the rod caps off, checked the bearings to make sure they hadn't scored anything, and put the engine back together and put it back in that car to race today. Here comes Jeffy taking a look. He's taking a look.
He might make an attempt at taking the lead into turn 1, and he does. And the hometown crowd rises to its feet and salutes their hero, Jeff Gordon.
Man, look at these folks wave as they go by. But did he make his move too soon? Is Ernie going to get him loose now? Remember, his car is loose with the car right behind him.
Ernie Irvan has, well, won 12 NASCAR Winston Cup races. Jeff Gordon has only one in his resume. That was at Charlotte, North Carolina, earlier this year.
Now he's going back in front of the fans who haven't seen him lead in the race, and they are on their feet applauding Jeff Gordon.
He celebrated his 23rd birthday just Thursday when he qualified for the inside of the second row. And look at the crowd waving and cheering Jeff Gordon on to victory.
Man, oh man.
There are 15 trips around the 2.5-mile oval at Indianapolis left in this inaugural Brickyard 400.
Now, if Jeff Gordon can just stay that far in front of Ernie Irvan, he'll be okay, because Ernie is not close enough right now to really loosen his car up in the corners. But if Ernie pulls back up on the deck lid, he might get Jeff loose again.
As they separate just a bit, let us inform you that Mike Chase is being transported to Methodist Hospital for neck x-rays. He has some contusions, but the injuries are not believed to be serious to Mike Chase.
And he did walk from his race car to the ambulance.
Jimmy Spencer, of course, was also taken down to Methodist for x-rays after an accident early on in the event. Gordon continues to lead, and Benny, it appears as if he is stretching it out a little bit.
Looks like it. Maybe a half a car length more than the last time.
The first two have pulled away from third place, Brett Bodine. There comes Brett, Bill Elliott, and Rusty Wallace, who are running third, fourth, and fifth, and Dale Earnhardt, who is sixth.
We see Earnhardt has gotten by Darrell Waltrip. Darrell's back in seventh spot now. Ernie's not letting him get totally away, Bob. Look, he's closed back up. What's that, 2 car lengths?
Another thing that you have to consider at this point, Benny, is experience. Jeff Gordon is only in his second year of full-time racing.
But, Bob, he's done things that guys who've been here 5 years can't do. I mean, this guy is an exceptional race car driver, Jeff Gordon is. And a nice guy on top of that.
Can you imagine what's going through his mind at this time?
No, I can't. I cannot imagine. As excited as this young man was at Charlotte when he won that Coca-Cola 600, can you imagine how excited he will be if he can just pull this thing off in front of his hometown folks?
just imagine the stress he is under at this time. He knows that if he misses an entrance or an exit to the corner by 2 inches, he's lost the lead.
He's lost the lead, and Ernie has pulled up on that back bumper. Now, can he get him loose enough to get under him coming off the 2nd or 4th corner? Ernie's there.
Irvin is right there, as a matter of fact, now with 12 laps to go. Irvin looks like he's going to make a run on Jeff. He's got a good momentum build-off coming up off of the 2nd corner down the backstretch. Irvin is going to go into the lead once again, or is he?
You reckon Jeff is going to race him on the outside like he did Rusty? He is, Bob. Side by side in turn 3.
But they give each other plenty of room. They're into the short chute, and Gordon has a half car length advantage as they go into 4. Ooh!
Ernie got the car a little bit out of shape as he went in the corner, but they're still side by side. Now Jeff Gordon retakes the lead, and he went in that 3rd corner on the outside of Ernie.
Unbelievable. They cross the line. 11 laps to go. Here's Jackaroos.
Well, Benny, what's happening, Bob? Jeff Gordon is radioing in that he's got a problem. The problem is, as you said, every time that Ernie Irvin gets up to the rear decklet, he gets extremely loose. He was pleading those last 2 laps that he had to let him go by. And that looks like what might be happening right now.
A replay of the last lap. Once again, Irvin moves to the inside and challenges Jeff down the backstretch.
Jeff just will not let go, Bob. He will not let go. He says, I'm going to win this race, but this time he does.
And now the question is Ernie going to be able to pull away? Meanwhile, Brett Bodine, Bill Elliott, and the others have closed in on these two.
While these 2 guys have been racing, look, we've got a 6-car battle for the lead.
1 through 6 are running nose to tail with now 10 laps to go in the inaugural Brickyard 400. And look who's running in 6th position, Benny. It's Dale Earnhardt.
Man, oh, man. I tell you what, this race might have had a little boring spot about from lap 150 miles to about 300, but this last 100 miles has been all worth it. What a great race.
Both of these drivers who are running 1st and 2nd were born in the state of California. And the last California-born driver to win at Indianapolis was Pat Flaherty in 1956. Gordon looks to the inside in 3.
Jeff can run as long as he doesn't have somebody right behind him. But these cars, when they pull up right behind that limiter, they're getting him loose. Or they're using all that racetrack when they come off 2 and 4, right up against that outside retaining wall.
And Ray Evernham has told Jeff Gordon to stay on Ernie's tail and get him loose. Run in the same order down the backstretch. Just a couple of feet separating Irvin from Gordon.
Folks, you just can't imagine what's going through. Well, you can imagine what's going through these drivers' minds. Just think about the thing that you wanted most in your life. And that's exactly what they're thinking right now.
Jackaroot has more from Jeff's pit.
Benny, here's what's going to happen. And Bob, the team down here on pit side is going to make the call when they want Jeff Gordon to try and attempt the pass. They want him to stay right where he is for right now. And they say, we'll call you when we want you to go to the front.
Exactly, Jack. They don't want him to get in front too soon because Ernie will get him loose again, as he did a moment ago. With 2 or 3 laps to go, Jeff Gordon will try to make his move.
Well, there has never been a pass on the last lap to win an Indianapolis 500. The latest pass occurred in 1989 on lap 198 when Emerson Fittipaldi and Al Unser Jr. battled.
Why do you reckon these people pay these good money for these seats but don't sit down, Bob?
I don't think they've been sitting for most of the day. It's been a tremendous race. And we still have no idea who is going to win. Will it be Ernie Irvin or Jeff Gordon, or one of the 4 that trail them?
Yes, Gordon is up on that back bumper right now. He's getting Ernie a little bit loose as he comes off these corners, as he comes off 1, 2, 3, and 4. He's trying to worry him to death right now. He wants Ernie to look up and see nothing but the white of his eyes. He wants to smile at Ernie and see so he can see his teeth when he looks in that rearview mirror and know that he's right there on that back bumper.
When they come down and cross the line, we'll have 6 laps to go. Gary Gerald has the situation regarding Ernie Irvan.
Well, we're checking with the crew to see if there's been any radio conversation. They said Ernie has not complained. We asked him if he was getting loose when Gordon got up underneath that rear spoiler. They said he hasn't complained thus far. They're hanging on and hoping.
Gary, there ain't nothing they can do. I mean, if he ain't got it right now, they ain't going to fix it. If his car is not good enough to hold him back, there's nothing Robert, Larry, and Reynolds can do.
Gordon content to stay right on the rear spoiler of Ernie Irvan for the moment, but the laps are winding down. Just a little more than 5 laps left to go. There,
Robert Yates, the owner of the 28 car.
He watches as his driver comes down and leads another lap.
It's got to be tough on those crewmen. Oh, here we go. Ernie slipped going in 1. Ernie slipped, and Jeff Gordon gets alongside.
That wasn't on orders from the crew. That was because Ernie missed the entrance to turn 1, and Jeff saw it and immediately went for the hole.
And something's wrong with Ernie. Something has happened to the 28 car, Bob.
Irvan slows down and is going to lose second position.
A tire. He's got a tire going down.
Irvan drops off the pace, and now Brett Bodine goes into second. Ernie Irvan heads for the warm-up lane, and Jeff Gordon has the lead.
The right front tire went flat on the 28 car.
Here's Gary Gerald.
Yeah, the crew just sagged visibly on the wall. Right front tire, you hit it right on the head. And oh, in the last 5 laps, they had 4.5 to go, Bob.
A tough break for Ernie Irvan, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader. But again, listen to this crowd in Indiana as they cheer their boy, Jeff Gordon. Give him the win yet, because the same problem could befall him before 3.5 laps are over. And Ernie Irvan has made it to his pit to get that flat tire fixed. But Jeff Gordon, there is the tire that has possibly cost Ernie Irvan a victory here in Indianapolis.
And he's going to go a lap down. He's going to go a lap down to the leaders as he comes down pit road. Here they come.
Jeff Gordon, Brett Bodine, Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt in that order. And then comes Darrell Waltrip.
Kenny Schrader, Michael Waltrip. There we see Ernie as he exits the pits as Jeff Gordon goes by.
157 laps have been completed. There are 2.5 to go. Here comes Ernie Irvan out of the warm-up lane with the group of cars that he was running with earlier, but he does not have a chance of winning now. Jeff Gordon has a little bit of breathing room, Benny, because Brett Bodine is maybe a 1.5 seconds behind.
I don't know, it's not that far, but we don't have far to go. Coming down for two laps to go, the signal this time.
This is a Cinderella story that is unfolding here. Jeff Gordon, many people, including perhaps Tony George, the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, wanted Jeff Gordon, after his outstanding performances in open-wheel cars, to perhaps think about moving to the Indianapolis 500 and running the open-wheel cars. But instead, Jeff Gordon chose the NASCAR stock car route. And he is on his way to a victory in the first stock car race run at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And there's his crew. They can't watch
The Rainbow Warriors did good today, didn't they? Here he comes, Bob.
Off of corner number 4, Doyle Ford displays the white flag. Jeff Gordon has 2.5 miles to go before he wins this event. It'll be his second NASCAR Winston Cup victory. He brings the car through corner number 1, okay, and onto the short chute.
There's Brett Bodine. It looks like Brett's getting a little bit closer, but does he have time? He is getting closer.
On to the backstretch now with less than 1/2 lap to go for Jeff Gordon. He eyes turn number 3.
Listen to the crowd as they acknowledge Jeff Gordon when he goes by.
It's an unbelievable situation in Indianapolis. Here he is in the 4th turn. This is his final trip around turn number 4. And Jeff Gordon is about to write his name in the racing history books. Years from today, when 79 stock car races have been run here, we'll remember the name. Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Jeff is screaming on his radio back to the pit crew. Oh my God, I did it! I did it!
Yes!
Benny, we thought we saw emotion from this kid in Charlotte. I think it'll be at least duplicated here in just a few moments.
I'm about to cry.
It is an unbelievable story that has happened here at Indianapolis today. Jeff Gordon has won the Brickyard 400, and we'll be back to talk with him in just a moment.
We came to the Brickyard to try something new. We ended up doing the same old thing. Chevy congratulates Jeff Gordon, winner of the first ever Brickyard 400. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. Genuine Chevrolet.
This is Paul Page. We're back in Indianapolis, and yes, indeed, the dreams of childhood can come true as Jeff Gordon has taken the win, and it's your last chance for you to win. The winner of the Brickyard 400 is Jeff Gordon. Write his name down, Jeff Gordon, on your Budweiser Pace Car Sweepstakes 3x5 card and send it in. One of 4 1995 Chevrolet Monte Carlo official pace cars could be yours. Thanks for playing, and remember to send in your game card, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Here's the final pass for the lead. As down inside of Irvin, Jeff Gordon made the move. Irvin in trouble because of a tire. And Jeff hung on. Coming off of turn 2, he was in front. Already, Ernie Irvin has slowed completely. But Brett Bodine was not about to give it up as he began to close in and came across the line 1/2 second behind Jeff Gordon. So history has been made once again at Indianapolis, a whole new line of history. The 24 car of Jeff Gordon has taken the win at Indianapolis. And for the very first time ever, a stock car will make the turn into winner's circle in front of the master control tower here. An incredibly popular win for this crowd in Indianapolis. They've watched this young man grow up. He celebrated his 23rd birthday last Thursday. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Ernie Irvin is right here and has just come out.
All right, here is your race summary now as Jeff Gordon gets his final inspection. Jeff Gordon takes the win at 131 miles an hour. We had 13 different leaders. They swapped the lead 21 times and 6 caution flags for 25 laps in the 160-lap run. Now, we're ready to go down to the winner's circle in front of the master control tower, and here's Jack.
Well, things are a little like Bedlam here, a little different than the Indianapolis 500. Taking the congratulations. Jeff, we'd like to get you out of the car as quickly as we can. We'd like to talk to you because you have made history. First it was Ray Haroon, ladies and gentlemen. And now The name is Jeff Gordon, has won the first Winston Cup race here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jeff, over here, congratulations, a terrific victory, but tell us about the battle first.
Oh man, what a battle. You know, we had a great car all day long, and the only car I was really worried about was that 7 car, and you know, I saw him, he had his misfortune, and I thought, well, all we got to do is just be nice and smooth and ride it here out from here. But that wasn't true. You know, we had a caution, and Ernie and the 2 car were right there, and I pulled away, but Ernie, you know, he kept loosening me up, so I let him go by, and then I get on him and eat his tires up and loosen him up. He let me go by. I tell you, I just want to commend that whole Havoline team and Ernie Irvin. He drove me a really nice, clean race. We didn't have to worry about anything. And
well, listen, we've got a very special presentation. Behind me and behind you is the president of the internationally known Indianapolis Motor Speedway that is now the home of Winston Cup's Brickyard 400, Mr. Tony George, for a very special presentation. Tony?
Jeff, congratulations. You've helped write history here. Your name will be the first to be inscribed on the beautiful PPG trophy for the Brickyard 400. This is yours to take home. Congratulations.
Well, from Victory Lane and Spectacular, let's go back to the tower.
Well, they came here with great expectations and many questions, these men of NASCAR. They came to make history.
let's talk about
Today was a validation of the great success of this series that grew up from the post-war short tracks of the South. Dreams have come true. Jeff Gordon has won the Brickyard 400. He is the champion.
ABC Sports and NASCAR welcome you to California Speedway for the inaugural California 500 presented by Napa. Southern California race fans have been waiting for this moment for years. Over 71,000 in the grandstand and thousands of others in the infield have come here today. It's just about time to go racing as 42 cars and drivers get set for 500 miles of competition. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins along with Benny Parsons, and this is kind of neat being part of an inaugural event.
Oh man, this is so neat. This year I've seen 2 racetracks open up. It's great to be part of NASCAR and Winston Cup racing today.
You know, this track is like several others on the circuit, but the drivers will tell you it's really a track of its own.
Yeah, we keep comparing this racetrack to Michigan because they look exactly the same. The drivers keep saying it's not Michigan, drives completely different than Michigan. This is California Speedway.
And a young man who was born in the state of California is atop the point standings as we head for the 15th race of the 1997 season. That, of course, is Jeff Gordon. Strong recent performances by Mark Martin has moved him up to within 46 points of the lead. 7-time NASCAR champion Dale Earnhardt has quietly moved to 6th. The top 10 drivers separated by less than 500 points. All are chasing Gordon, who has been flexing his muscles.
Years ago, California native Jeff Gordon moved east to seek fame and fortune. He quickly captured both, becoming one of NASCAR's brightest stars. Today, this charismatic kid comes home, no longer chasing rainbows, but driving one painted on his magical Monte Carlo.
Getting heavy in my Chevy, ain't no slowing us down. Put the pedal to the metal, let it take us out of town. There's this great big world that we just got to see. Girl, let's rock it with you.
It has been fireworks and fast cars since Flash Gordon left California a decade ago. Today, his Chevy is ready and poised to pounce from 3rd starting spot. It's his favorite race car, nicknamed Blacker. It's carried him to 11 wins over the last 3 years, and he hopes today will make it an even dozen.
Here they come, Bob.
It's a beautiful Southern California afternoon as 42 NASCAR Winston Cup cars come off of corner number 4 and get the green flag, and the inaugural race at California Speedway is underway. Nemechek leads his first lap since Martinsville, the half-mile track earlier this year.
Man, oh man, 57 laps.
That's going to be interesting to see if everybody can make it that far, Jerry.
Well, Jeff Gordon cannot make it that far. He can only go, the most he's gone today is 47 laps because they aren't getting good fuel mileage. I asked Ray Evernham, maybe the jets we have in the carburetor, but we don't know why, so we have to try to stretch it. Here's what Ray Evernham just told Jeff. He said, Jeff, we have no choice but to try to stretch it. Watch the fuel pressure gauge. When it fluctuates a couple of times, you got to come, my friend. Watch the gauge, but stay out there until you see the needle move. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Now Gordon on pit road, headed your way. Jerry Punch, pick it up.
All right, they wanted to try to get it to lap 196. It's lap 195. They are going to be about 6 laps shy based on their prior calculations, making it on fuel, but Gordon had no choice. Apparently, the fuel and the car was skipping when he came by. Apparently, the fuel is almost out. Now they have the right side tires going on. They're only going to change 2 tires, 1 can of fuel going in. They have got to get it completely full of fuel, and now the car sits and revs and watch the smoke out of the brakes, and now Gordon is down and away.
In 15.3 seconds, the pit stop for Jeff Gordon. Teammate Terry Labonte continues to stay out there, and
I want to show you something on the 24 car. When he made that pit stop just a moment ago, just watch this as he comes down. He stops, they're going to change right side. This is very amused to Jackman. Watch him as he jacks the car. Now, when they get the tires changed, watch how slowly he lets the jack down. Tires are on. He knows they got to wait for fuel. He lets the jack down. They're going to tell him on the other side of the... Ray Evernham's going to tell him when to go on the radio. That way, they got a better shot, able to roll the car off a little bit better, not having to come down off the jack. Might have saved a 1/10 of a second. And guess who's leading the race, folks? Jeff Gordon. I know you knew that. You cheated. Jeff Gordon, he was not leading the race when all his pit signals started. He was running in second spot. As a matter of fact, Mark Martin didn't change any tires. Jeff Gordon changed the 2 right side tires, but he still is in the lead.
And here comes Jeff Gordon trying to get around Dick Trickle, and he's been trying to do this for several laps, BP.
And Dick Trickle in 19th spot. He's the last car on the lead lap, and there's the second place car of Mark Martin. And look at Trickle drive on the outside. He's going to be able to stay in front of, and look at Mark Martin closing right on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon.
Wow, Mark has really closed down on the leader. And he's still having trouble getting by Dick Trickle.
That's the 90 car spotter saying, good job, Dick, stay in front of that 24 car.
Not going to be able to do it, though, as they go into turn. Gordon comes up. Wow, that was close.
And he does put Trickle a lap down, but here comes Mark Martin, and he will easily put Dick Trickle a lap down, but he's now right on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. And remember, folks, before this last pit stop, Mark Martin was the fastest car on the racetrack.
And now Jeff Gordon encounters some more traffic ahead. That's the 77 car, I believe, of Morgan Shepherd and Darrell Waltrip. And Waltrip goes from leading the race about 7 circuits ago to about to go a lap down.
Morgan Shepherd is running right now currently in 23rd spot. Now 2 laps down to the leader. And we see Terry Labonte right at the back end of this group as he closes in on those leaders.
0.2 of a second lead for Martin, a 1.7 second lead over Terry Labonte, and the interval back to 4th position is 3.8, and back to 5th is 14.2 seconds, 02.
That's probably the distance from the leader, Jeff Gordon. So Jimmy Spencer is 21 seconds behind the 24 car.
Now Gordon heads to the high side of the racetrack to try to pass Darrell Waltrip. Can't do it up there, so he comes down now. Still can't get around Darrell Waltrip.
He's right inside, outside. Come on, DW, let me go. DW says, kid, I want to stay in the lead lap. As they come off their corner, Gordon gets a good run. He and Mark Martin trying to make it 3 abreast. He's trying to find a way by Gordon. Can't find it.
terrific battle up front between Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin, separated by just a few car lengths or 1800ths of a second.
As we watch as Greg Sachs is coming down pit road.
So it's anybody's race here as we continue to bring you live coverage of this race. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
About lap 240, we have a bunch of them. Keep an eye on that gas gauge, I'll tell you.
Boy, that's going to help those who can't make it, huh?
Telling you. I guess that was Greg Sachs. Is he still on the racetrack? He coasted down pit road just a minute ago out of 4. No.
That's rubber, I doubt it. Okay.
Probably need to make a point. Last week was 400 miles. This 100 miles here to take some engines out.
Jeff Gordon continues to lead the California 500 presented by Napa here at California Speedway. 215 laps completed, 35 to go. Last week, it was a 400-mile race at Michigan International that Ernie Irvin won.
Let's tell you, the first of the leaders has blinked. Remember we told you Mark Martin's crew said they were definitely going to be able to go the distance? Jack Roush has done the calculations. Guys, they're going to be 5 laps short.
Ooh.
They desperately need a caution. Meantime, right next to them is Gary Dehart, who leads the Hendrick Motorsports stable for the Tony the Tiger car, Terry Labonte. Guess what? Labonte, they've done the math. They can go the distance.
Uh-oh. This is going to be very interesting here in the closing stages.
We saw all those cars making sure the fuel tank was as full as it could possibly be.
There is Terry Labonte running back in 3rd position, about 2 seconds behind his teammate leader Gordon. Well, Jerry, how about Jeff Gordon? Can he make it?
Well, you just heard that his teammate, Terry Labonte, they may roll the dice, but Jeff Gordon said, you know, we're trying to win a championship here, and it may not be worth it. However, they are calculating and recalculating, and just a moment ago, they said, okay, now, if we have 23.5 gallons, that means the fuel cell holds 22 gallons. All the lines, every hose that runs out of the fuel cell toward the engine, maybe 23 gallons. We could make it to lap 249, but that would be all. We would run out of gas on the last lap. Will they roll the dice? Well, it's anybody's guess, but Kenny Schrader obviously is coming down pit road now as more smoke pours out in front of you, Jack Arute.
Well, Jerry, the report on Kenny Schrader is that he's gone down to at least 7 cylinders. But you were talking about Jeff Gordon trying to do the calculations. Guess where they went for a little bit of help on the math? They went down to their teammate, Terry Labonte's pit. They checked and rechecked. So there's the advantage of having a 3-car team. It's all over for Schrader. You can hear the motor. It's smoking back.
Where the car start. And here comes Jeff Mark trying to go by on the outside of Gordon. Can he make the pass on the outside? Jeremy Mayfield there on the outside of Gordon. And that will be the pick that Gordon uses to stay in front of Mark Martin.
So a lot of these drivers hope there's going to be a caution flag sometimes in the next 26 laps so they can come in and get some fuel, but not Terry Labonte, who says he can go all the way. Now Martin once again closes in on the leader of the race, Gordon.
There's David Green, the Caterpillar car, moves over, lets the guys go by.
David goes 3 laps down in 26th position. Michael Waltrip is about to go a lap down in 14th. He will be the next car that goes a lap down. There he is, a few car lengths ahead of Gordon.
And the 21 car, we reported early in the race, the alternator quit working on his car. They had to change the battery on one of the caution flags, so he still has been able to stay in the lead lap. But right now, I'm sure that the engine is being starved for the energy it needs to make those spark plugs to make all the horsepower he needs to stay in front of these guys.
Let's continue our assessment of who can and who can't make it on fuel. Jack, what's the story with Rusty?
As he can on those fresh tires.
21 and a half laps to go for Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, and the others. We'll be back with more of our live coverage in just a moment of the California 500.
Fuel run, yeah. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Another track fact?
What did I do with my billboard? What is it again?
Clean running
engine.
Clean running engine. Come on, Bob. You can remember that.
Come on, Bob.
If we get a chance on that 24 car, once again, I'd like to talk about that raffle last week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I can tell you one reason that's hurting Mark Martin in fuel mileage. Texas. Jack Roush took full credit for blowing Mark Martin's engine up in Texas by getting it too lean.
That's the tire story. But here's a real track fact. The most nervous guy at the racetrack is their gas man, Randy Hildreth. He's trying to make sure he got every drop into that gas. Now a battle for the lead.
And Mark Martin has taken the lead from Jeff Gordon on the 234th lap.
He says, what the heck? I got to stop. I'm not going to try to pass this guy. He probably don't have to, but I'm going to stop.
Jeff Gordon has clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps this afternoon, the second time that he has done that this year. The other time was at Martinsville.
Folks, let me tell you one thing that's hurting Mark Martin on his fuel mileage. Texas Motor Speedway back in April. Jack Roush took full credit for blowing Mark Martin's engine up when he got the engine too lean. Not enough fuel going to the engine. He's fattening things back up. He's now pouring more fuel to him so he doesn't have that problem again. That's one reason Martin isn't getting as good a fuel mileage as he did before Texas. Fuel, you got to pour fuel to those engines to keep them from running lean, blowing up.
Mark Martin taking the lead from Jeff Gordon was the 20th lead change that we have had in this race here at California Speedway. Lead.
Now, that time by, Mark Martin ran over 180 miles per hour, over 180. And we see he's pulling away from Jeff Gordon. The question is Jeff Gordon being outrun right now, or is he knows that Mark has to stop for more fuel? Is he just taking it easy?
Jeff Gordon's lap last time was 179.3 compared with Mark's 180. Jerry, what's the answer to that question?
Well, Benny, without a question, Jeff Gordon is taking it easy. Ray Evernham told him a moment ago is now that you're not leading anymore, draft anything and everything that moves. As the car number 3, Dale Earnhardt, comes down pit road for a stop. You know the 6th car has to pit. What they have told Jeff Gordon is that you are going to be 1 lap shy. You got to draft anything and everything. As Earnhardt now in for his final pit stop, and very soon Mark Martin will make his final stop for fuel. The final lap winding down here at the California Speedway. It should be a barn burner when we come back. Stay with us.
Who's this coming in the pits?
Okay.
Here comes Rusty in the pits.
You can breathe a little easier, huh?
Here Mark comes.
Man, you're lucky. Here is Jeff Gordon through the tri-oval, completing lap 241. There are 9 circuits to go.
Here comes Dale Jarrett.
Yep, Dale Jarrett coming in. Jackaroo, he's...
Well, now that it's decision time here for Team Hendrick, you already heard that Terry Labonte thinks they can make it. They are going to roll the dice and go for it. But what about Gordon? Well, just a moment ago, Ray Evernham said, well, Jeff, here's the news. By calculation, sometime between lap 4 to go, 3 to go, 2 to go, and the checkered, we are going to be out of fuel. What do you want to do? And they decided to roll the dice and go for it.
Wow. Well, it may pay off. It may not. Stay with us. We'll find out in just 8 more laps. Labonte now is running in 2nd position, and he, we have been told, can go the distance without a doubt. And the 3rd place car is Ricky Rudd, and we've also been told that he can go the distance.
Right now, Terry Labonte is gaining on Jeff Gordon. I guess the reason Jeff Gordon is not running the engine as hard as he was before, trying to save some fuel. There we see him drafting Mike Skinner down the backstretch. There comes Labonte.
Jeff about to complete lap 244. It's a 2.2 second advantage for Jeff Gordon over Terry Labonte.
Jeff Gordon has passed Mike Skinner. Now he's blocking the air using more fuel. The 10 car still has not crossed the start-finish line. There he goes now, 24.62 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon has won 25% of the races he's competed in since winning his first race at Charlotte back in May of '94. His longest winless streak during that time has been 13 races between Watkins Glen and Rockingham, late '94 and early '95. The interval is 1 3/4 seconds now.
The 24 car, remember folks, he stopped 2 laps earlier than did his teammate Terry Labonte, and also the 25 car of Ricky Craven.
Here's Jackaroon again.
Ron Jenkins, Gary Dehart saw all of his competition go onto pit road. The first thing he did is he jumped over the wall and did a little bit of lobbying with NASCAR about lapped race traffic. As he started to climb back up on his perch, I asked him, are you going to stay out? And he just grumbled, yeah.
4 laps to go.
1.6, Labonte getting closer and closer. I think right now Jeff Gordon is just backing up a little bit, trying to save every drop of fuel he can. Labonte thinks he can make it. He might as well run as hard as he can. And force Gordon to have to run harder and hopefully run him out of fuel.
This will complete lap 247, and there will be 3 laps to go in the inaugural California 500 presented by Napa. That's how close first and second are.
Nothing separating the front 2 cars, Jeff Gordon and his Rick Hendrick teammate, Terry Labonte. Ray Evernham, no big deal, is it, Ray? Gary Dehart, the crew chief for Terry Labonte.
These guys work all week long side by side at Hendrick Motorsports, but when they get out on the racetrack, they are bitter enemies.
Well, not bitter, but enemies.
Yeah, they're certainly competitive enemies, let's put it that way. 2 to go for Jeff Gordon. Can he hold on? Will the fuel last? And can he hold off the hard-charging Terry Labonte? He comes up on the fastest qualifier in this race, Greg Sachs, and puts him 4 laps down. Greg in 27th position. This time by, Jeff Gordon will see the white flag. There is Ray.
He said, well, here's Dehart. Evernham says there's not much I can do. Meanwhile, as we watch this, Bill Elliott and Dick Trickle have run out of fuel. Both those cars are on pit road.
Here he comes off the corner onto the tri-oval. The white flag waves for Jeff Gordon. 1 more lap to go. 2 miles to victory. Will it be Gordon or will it be Labonte? Or will Jeff Gordon run out of fuel on the last lap? He's safely through the second corner, down the backstretch. Ray Evernham has his fingers crossed. The interval stays about the same down the backstretch. And Mark Martin apparently is out of gas as Jeff Gordon sets the car into the 3rd corner.
Mark Martin goes by the front stretch, coaches as cars go by. Here comes Jeff Gordon off the corner. Bob, I do believe he's going to make it.
Let's see if he can do it. He's going to do it. Jeff Gordon wins the California 500 presented by Napa. And the Rainbow Warriors celebrate another victory. Here's Jerry Punch.
Well, Ray Evernham, if I were you, I'd go straight to Vegas. You have won. You are on a gambling streak, and what a win.
I'm going straight to church because we got to thank God first because he allows us to do this. And I know we were praying real hard, but, you know, we gambled. Michael Landis did an excellent job all day with the fuel, and Jeff Gordon did a great job driving the car. We're happy. It's great to be here in California. What a beautiful place this is, and just want to say hi to everybody, but it's just unbelievable. I'm not a gambler, Jerry, but I want to tell you what, I was pretty nervous.
Realistically, did you think he could make it? Landis said, I don't think so.
Well, we really didn't, but Jeff did a real good job, you know, not using the car up, not burning extra fuel, catching a sniff of a draft everywhere we can, and we've worked very hard on that car to get as much fuel out of it as we can. He just ran out of gas.
All right, he just radioed his crew chief, said, I'm out of gas. I may not make it back to victory lane, but the story is this. The charismatic kid from California comes home and goes to victory lane as Mark Martin also coasting in with no fuel. And the question now is, can Gordon get back to talk to us?
Well, he missed pit road, actually. I guess he's going across the grass.
Here he comes through the grass and into victory lane. Jeff Gordon with his 26th career win, tied for 18th in the all-time list with Freddie Lorenzen. They made victory lane. It's the 7th win for Chevrolet in 1997. And the 7th win for Jeff Gordon. No other Chevy driver has driven to victory lane in '97 except this man.
How about that?
Jeff Gordon's 19th super speedway win, putting him 9th on the all-time list. Jack Roush cannot believe that Mark Martin, despite the fuel stop, ran out on the last lap.
He's crushed, isn't he?
Well, NASCAR's first visit to California Speedway has proven to be an incredibly competitive and exciting race. That, as is the case very often at Michigan Speedway, boiled down to fuel mileage. But Jeff Gordon stretched it, and he ended up in victory lane.
That was some coal packs that he took out. They take those coal packs. Oh, give me a sip, he said.
Waiting on Jack to let us know. Whatever, you okay?
And he'll emerge from the car now to the applause of thousands of race fans gathered here this afternoon. A tired young driver, but also a very happy driver.
You know where they're at.
Win the inaugural, he said.
Here's our McDonald's Winner's Circle interview with Jack Arute.
Getting the congratulations of his wife, of his crew, looking for that trophy. The inaugural winner of the Brickyard. Now Greg Penske making you, Jeff Gordon, the inaugural winner of the California Speedway. Congratulations. And you did it the hard way, man.
This is awesome. Hey, I got to show Rick this trophy. He told me to show him the trophy, man. We missed you. We got the 1-2. Sorry we missed on the 1-3, but this is a great win for us. Tell you what, to do the inaugural race here means so much. This is an incredible facility, and it's a great race today. I learned how to conserve fuel today, so I got to thank my crew. Everybody in the DuPont Automotive Finishes Chevrolet did an awesome job. Thank Goodyear Tires. They had awesome.
And guess what? Our microphone blew up.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, Jeff Gordon wins his 17th event in the last 46 races, giving him a winning percentage of 37% in the last 46 races.
How about that?
So he won the inaugural Brickyard 400 and brings home the Les Richter Trophy here this afternoon. Jeff Gordon finishing heavy in the Chevy here in California on this summer afternoon. We'll be right back. Well, NASCAR has added 6 new tracks to the schedule in the last 10 years. Let's take a look at the inaugural winners. In Phoenix, it was Alan Kulwicki in '88. Ricky Rudd won his 10th career victory in '89 at Sears Point. Rusty Wallace, the inaugural winner in '93 at New Hampshire. The Brickyard 400 inaugural winner, Jeff Gordon in '94. Jeff Burton won the Texas inaugural race earlier this year, his first career victory, and now Jeff brings home his 26th career victory in the inaugural event here in California. Hendrick Racing, Jeff Gordon started 3rd, won the race. Terry Labonte started 10th, finished 2nd. And Ricky Craven started 11th and finished 9th. And Jerry Punch is with Terry Labonte. Yep, okay. Benny will help me with this.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And obviously, Mark should have stayed in there 1 second longer.
Back at California Speedway, where the race fans are beginning to file out after Jeff Gordon once again flexed his muscle and drove the victory here today. Earlier in the race, he took second place away from Ernie Irvan. Then later, he passed Wally Dallenbach and went into the lead for the first time.
And then he passed Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon did a lot of passing. Ray Evernham, he just did the worrying. Mark Martin there late in the race goes by Jeff Gordon. But Mark Martin had to stop for fuel, and he should have stayed there 1 second longer because not enough fuel. He runs out of gasoline.
Well, Jeff Gordon rolled the dice and came out the winner as his car and that of his teammate Terry Labonte went the distance, and Jeff Gordon racked up another victory, the first of his career here at California Speedway, much to the delight of Ray Evernham and the Rainbow Warriors. And the celebration continues in Victory Lane with Jeff and his wife Brooke. Now let's take a look at the full field rundown.
Momentum leaving California.
Jeff Gordon pulled through the grass to go to Victory Lane here today, and we'll remind you that the NASCAR Winston Cup Series now heads to Daytona for the Pepsi 400 on Saturday, July 5th at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we will have live coverage over on ESPN. As far as the ABC NASCAR Winston Cup schedule is concerned, our next telecast will be at the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in August. Jeff Gordon, the winner here this afternoon, for Benny Parsons, Jerry Punch, Bill Weber, and Jack Arute. I'm Bob Jenkins. Thanks for joining us here in the California 500 for this inaugural race. We'll see you soon. So long, everyone.
Alan? 5 years and $224 million from dream to dream come true for the race fans of Kansas City. NASCAR is in your town. We're set for the green flag and the inaugural Winston Cup event at the Kansas Speedway.
Protect the bottom, because if you don't and you get up on that high lane, it's just going to be like a Talladega. You're going to get hung out to dry because everybody's nose to tail.
Jason Leffler, native of Long Beach, California, just his 23rd NASCAR Winston Cup Series race. He leads the champion to be potentially Jeff Gordon, 3-time champion. How's that?
That's better.
All right. May not lead him for long, though. Gordon taking a peek.
It looked right. That lap there going in the corner looked like the 01 car and Jason Leffler's a little bit tight.
We see what happens. Oh, battle for the lead. Here comes Jeff Gordon.
Gordon out in front. Rusty Wallace still applying pressure to Jerry Nadeau, but not able to get by yet.
And I think Rusty's car is a little bit tighter behind the 25. That's why he can't make the move. He's getting that arrow tight that we talked about. Right there.
Up the bank.
That's where he wants to be. Now he's got some air pushing on the left front part of that fender. And he should be able to drive underneath 25. 25's not making it easy for him.
No, he certainly isn't. Nadeau does not want to give up that lead. And I don't blame him, and he shouldn't. And that's twice that Rusty Wallace has gone down in turn 1, and the car just will not turn, pushes up the racetrack.
Now, Rusty can get close enough to Jerry Nadeau getting in the corner. He can get Jerry loose, arrow loose. That's what he's trying to do, but I'm not sure he can get there because it's not turning.
Here comes Rusty. He's got to run this time. See you, Jerry. Jeff Gordon says, see you, Jerry.
So Nadeau's team, the gamble does not pay off. Not in a win, anyway. Not yet. Wallace to the point, Gordon to second, Nadeau to third. Dale Jr. has now cleared the lap traffic. He is in fourth. Then you've got Ricky Rudd in fifth.
Let's go on board with Jeff Gordon, check out some telemetry, see what kind of RPM, what kind of mile per hour that he might be turning. This is down the backstretch, the slowest part of the racetrack. And we see around 190 miles per hour, almost 8,800 RPMs around that. Front stretch should be a little bit more in speed and RPMs. Let's see if he's going to turn about 9,000 RPMs. And that's a bunch, isn't it, Marty?
Oh, yeah, that's a lot, Benny. And Robin Pemberton, Rusty Wallace's crew chief, these guys are normally known for creating a lot of horsepower, as is Jeff Gordon's team. You see Jeff Gordon chasing Rusty Wallace on the racetrack. Robin and I were talking this morning. He said during qualifying for Rusty Wallace, he turned 9,600 RPMs. That ties the most RPMs they have ever turned on a racetrack.
Wow. Rusty Wallace, we saw him there, over 9,000 RPMs as he tries to stay in front of Jeff Gordon. And you say, why would he turn more RPMs than Jeff Gordon? Because he isn't trying to win a championship. And RPMs, those are the things that kills engines.
Hey, Rusty looks awfully tight right now this early in the run.
He just cannot keep that car on the bottom where it needs to be.
Rusty Wallace came here to test on the 16th and 17th of September. Weather limited the track time that they were able to get in. But he felt like they'd learned enough to be competitive here this weekend. He has led the most laps today by far. He's led 3 times as many as the next driver. Wallace out in front for 92 of the 206 circuits so far.
Rusty's taking that car down to the bottom of the racetrack, getting in the corner, and it looks like that's where he wants to stay. But the car will not stay down. He goes down to the white line, but watch as he comes off how the car will drift up. That was not a bad corner by Rusty Wallace.
But in the meantime, the 24 was on the bottom the whole time. Just getting through the corners a little bit better than Rusty.
One week ago at Dover, Jeff Gordon started well deep in the field and had to dodge a lot of mayhem to come up with a top 5 finish and protect his championship lead. He's ahead of Ricky Rudd now. Rudd is back in 5th. Just a couple of car lengths between the top 2. What's the distance back to the 4th place car, Dale Earnhardt Jr.? There he is.
He was 2 1/4 seconds. He's now almost 2 1/2 seconds right now. But it doesn't look like Jeff Gordon is losing too much ground to Rusty Wallace.
Sticking right with him. Fuel to the finish. Strategy going to be a question. We'll talk about it when we come back to Kansas City on NBC. Laps to go as Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing from Kansas City. The duel right now setting up between Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon over who's going to hold the inaugural winner's trophy here.
And I think you're right, Alan. I think that's what he's doing. Jeff's car looks awfully strong right now.
And even 1,000 laps Rusty's led on the season so far.
And that is very, very impressive. Especially the fact that he really hasn't been very competitive in the last few races.
Wallace and Gordon have moved out ahead of Jerry Nadeau by 2.1 seconds. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 2.7 back. Then it is 6.2 to 5th place Sterling Marlin. Rest of the top 10, Matt Kenseth, Ricky Rudd, who's fallen back to 7th now, Jeff Burton, Bobby Labonte, and Mark Martin, who's very quietly picked his way back into the top 10.
Boy, Jeff Gordon's car looks awfully good right there.
Last pit stops for the leaders came at lap 185 of 267. A little bit far to make it on one tank of fuel if the race goes green from here to the finish.
Well, the 4 car made that pit stop for fuel. He's going to try to go the rest of the way without stopping. We know that Rusty's got to stop. We know the 24. We know every car out there on the lead lap, probably with the exception of the 4, know they have to stop again.
Why don't we find out what some of the crew chiefs have to say about their potential strategies toward the finish? Marty Snyder.
Rusty Wallace is the leader right now as crew chief Robin Pemberton. And Robin, car looks a little tight right now.
Yeah, it's a little tight. We've been fighting it all day long. It's pretty good. Biggest problem is what's behind us.
How much longer can you stay out? When do you have to come down pit road?
Look about 30 laps, probably 25 to 30 laps.
All right, and it probably will be fuel only for Rusty Wallace. To Matt Yoakum.
And Jeff Gordon currently is following the 2-car up, Rusty Wallace and Robbie Loomis is crew chief. Robbie, how is that race car? When are you going to stop?
Right now, the car's gotten better and better all day long. We just got to see what happens. We've got a long way to go. Everybody's got another pit stop. I take this time to say hello to Gwendolyn and Delbert Payne. They're home.
Now, Jeff was concerned about getting too close to the 2-car because it's going to raise his temperatures. What'd you tell him?
Yeah, I told him, just take care of it. The engine guys felt like the oil tank would be okay. We had to put some more tape on the front of that thing to get the downforce in it. Really got the kill down.
Jeff Gordon looking for his 3rd inaugural win. Dave Burns. And we're with Tony Furr now, the crew chief for the 25 car of Jerry Nadeau.
And he's heading in.
Battle for the lead. Jeff Gordon is there. Coming off turn 2. He's got position. Rusty has no choice. Does he? Oh, yes, he does.
But now here's where he'll push up the racetrack. 24 cut right back under. Didn't give too much room there.
Good run off that corner.
Rusty maintains the lead.
Earlier in the race, we saw Rusty and Bill Elliott dueling for the lead. And every time they came off of turn 4 and Bill had to run under Rusty, Rusty just out-pulled him down his front side.
See, Rusty was grabbing for something there. I don't know what. He stuck his hand out the window, and it's almost like he was reaching for something on the windshield.
Bill Weber?
Ken Schrader on pit road, some kind of an oil leak. Schrader saw the smoke coming up through the shifter boot. NASCAR has asked them to shut it off. They're going to jack it up, put some stacks, some jack stands underneath, and try and tighten up some oil lines, see if that does it.
Look at the windshield of Rusty's car. Wally, you said looked like he was reaching for something.
That's what he's trying to do. He was trying to actually stick his hand out to pull out the tear off. The tear off is scrunched up on the windshield, and that lap I saw him reach his hand out the windshield. How about it, Marty?
Wally, you're exactly right. That's what he was trying to do, trying to pull the tear off and then let it go. And what that does is it basically cleans the windshield for these guys. There's a little piece of plastic.
Here come the leaders onto pit road. Don't see anybody on the lead lap that'll stay out. Let's cover the stops. First, Dave Burns.
Even though Jerry Nadeau said my left front tire isn't doing much, they are only going to take 2 tires and fuel. Tony Furr said, don't wait on anything. They will take the tires now. Don't leave the catch can in. Bill?
Sterling Marlin gambled at 1 at Michigan. Gambling here, fuel only. Marty?
Rusty Wallace is already away. Bill Weber, 2 right side tires, a pound in the right rear. To Matt Yoakum.
2 tires for Jeff Gordon. He's down and away. His car was a little bit tight. They were going to gamble, Dave. They were not going to take any tires, but they changed their mind at the last minute.
Matt?
Well, I'm down here in the 28 pit, and Michael Fatback was swaying. You guys gambled, didn't take on any tires. The 24 took on 2. You think your no tires will hold off his 2 fresh?
Well, I think so. I mean, 2 tires is tighter, and traffic is tighter. So I see my buddy do it yesterday, and he had good success with it, so we thought we'd give it a try today.
And this is the kind of way that you guys, you told me before the race, you wanted to win the championship this way, racing for it.
Be ready? Yeah, the only way we're going to beat Jeff Gordon is we got to win races, win races, win races.
And we're back to green.
Next lead lap car in that mix is Matt Kenseth in the yellow number 17, and he's boxed in a little bit of traffic.
Not anymore. He gets alongside Robbie Gordon, and away he goes and brings Jeff Gordon right along with him.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just come from the Infield Care Center. Dave Burns is with him.
Junior, you were on your way to your 3rd straight top 5, and then what happened?
Well, I think we blew a right front tire. Felt the vibration about 2 laps before that, and it was getting pretty bad. And I just told the guys to get the pits ready that I was going to come on in. And I told them out on the front straightaway, the tire blew out going into one. Just needed another half a lap. But what a great racetrack, Kansas City. This is a lot of fun. My car was driving itself out there. Wasn't putting a lot of pressure on it or anything. It was just going around and around. And we was keeping up with them guys, and I thought he was going to get us 3rd place or something like that and move up into points. But it's definitely going to set us back. So
you weren't injured in any way, Dale?
No, it was a hell of a hit, but I took it in stride, man, just like always.
He always does, and he'll be back again, Alan.
All right. That Junior's a piece of work, isn't he?
Go get him at Charlotte, Dale. So Junior is out while running in 4th spot. Ricky Rudd is now the leader. Jeff Gordon is trying to catch the top few. He was challenging Rusty Wallace for the win moments ago.
BP, you can go 4 wide here.
You can.
I just saw it happen in turn 2.
I did too. I saw Nemechek have a problem getting off turn 2, and they went 3 wide under him.
29. Oh, car in the wall, headed down to turn.
They're not worried about Ricky Rudd, the man in front of the man they're worried about is behind them, Jeff Gordon, as we go back to green on the racetrack.
23 laps to go. Top 3 clear the lap traffic.
And here comes Mark Martin. He's making a bid for the lead. He's alongside Ricky Rudd, and here's Jeff Gordon right behind him.
It'll be the first time all day Martin's led, if he can hold it to the start-finish line. Here comes Gordon.
Down on the apron of the speedway. He's alongside Mark, going down to 1.
Outside clear, all clear.
Rudd tries to follow him through. He'll do it. Wild exchange there.
I saw a puff of smoke from one of those cars as they came off too.
I think they might have run over a clot of oil dry that's left over from the Dale Jr. wreck, Bay. Just got up a little high. More on Mark Martin from Marty.
Involved.
Here comes Terry Labonte trying to get a lap back. His teammate will let him.
It was Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte was involved with that.
Going to have a pretty short sprint to the finish, and let's hear from some of the front runners, crew chiefs now on their thinking. We go to Matt Yoakum.
Only 15 laps stand between Jeff Gordon and picking up his 3rd inaugural race win. Robbie Loomis, you're now in the lead. Can your man stay there?
Whew, he's worked hard to get it, I tell you. I don't know, the track's real slick after those restarts when they clean the track below it. It sits. Seems to be real greasy. That's kind of what happened to Ricky there. So, you know, good Lord willing, we'll be able to keep that thing.
And Ricky Rudd said under the caution that he just didn't have any side bite, Wally, that he just could not get any bite with these tires still loose.
Time to settle it, hopefully, without another caution flag. We've had enough today. Gordon, Rudd, Martin, Newman, Marlin. The lap cars, Robbie Gordon to their inside.
Look at, is that
Rusty?
Is that Rusty outside, the outside?
I don't think the top 5 cleared those lap cars, do you?
The top 2 did, but Mark Martin, the 3rd place car, is hung up between the 2nd place car, Rudd, and the lap car, Robbie Gordon.
Rusty Wallace got up to 5th on the restart. He got by Sterling Marlin and Kevin Harvick.
So much for deals.
Doesn't look like Rudd's going to be able to get up and do anything with Gordon.
Now on the restart, we will see a single file restart.
Robbie Gordon, it's a lap back. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, the top 2 in the championship, running in the top 2 places in this race. The gap was 2:12 coming in. They've both led a lap. Neither will lead the most laps. It'd be a 5-point net gain if they finish as they are now.
If. Won't turn.
These tires are probably 225 degrees when the caution flag comes out. And as Wally says, when they slow down, any little small stones or any debris on the racetrack, that hot rubber just picks those up. And you aren't running fast enough to sling them off. So that's why you see the drivers going back and forth. It's trying to, as Wally said, just wipe everything off. Because when you go down the corner, it's almost like the tire's flat.
And you'll probably see at least one of these guys slide up the racetrack going into 1, and he's got to get the tires clean the best.
trying to use the track almost like a cheese grater as you work the tires back and forth on it?
Exactly, and that's, you see the 24, the 28, all those guys are doing right now.
I can see how that helped the front tires. What about the rears?
You're still swerving the car, so it cleans off all 4 tires pretty good.
All right, 6 laps to go when the green flag waves. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, the upstart, youngster Ryan Newman, Mark Martin, and Rusty Wallace, the top 5. Rusty got 3 positions on the last restart on the outside. Can he do it again?
This is going to get good.
And Robert Presley back in the 9th position. I don't think we've mentioned him all day, but here he is, 9th with just a few laps to go.
And Blaney in 8th after spinning.
75,000 on their feet here in Kansas City, ready for the final 6 laps of this one. Who gets the best restart?
Go, 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 go.
Rusty on the outside.
And here comes Sterling Marlin on the inside. Here comes Kevin Harvick on the inside. And Rusty goes to 4th. Mark back to about 7th.
Robert Presley stuffs himself to the inside of Dave Blaney. Tony Stewart makes that one 3 wide. Up front, though, it's Jeff Gordon.
Boy, Newman looks strong right there on the bottom of the track. On the bottom side of the 28 car, he will take the 2nd spot from Ricky Rudd.
Ryan Newman crashed here on Friday. This is a backup car he ran an ARCA race with here a couple of months ago. Can he get his first NASCAR Winston Cup win from the 3-time champion Jeff Gordon? Matt Yoakum.
And Jeff Gordon has not said a word on the radio. He's just hunkered down. He knows he has the rookie coming up behind him, making a charge. Gordon trying to hold him off.
Marty Snyder.
Well, Alan, not only did this car for Ryan Newman run in the ARCA race here, it led 114 of 142 laps, almost all the ones he ran until he lost an engine. They know it's fast. They think they're going to catch Jeff Gordon and pull this thing off.
Catching him's one thing.
Passing him's another. We could do a duet on that, couldn't we?
3 laps to go. Rudd, Wallace, and Marlin settled in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Mark Martin has been shuffled back to 6th. Presley's up to 7th. Then you've got Harvick, Stewart, and Kurt Busch to go. Gordon's lead has stabilized over Newman, it appears.
Ryan Newman might be guilty right now of driving just a little bit too hard. And who can blame him?
The white flag is up. Final lap here at Kansas City.
Lap, clear by 4, clear by 5.
5 car lengths. Gordon's spotter telling him he's clear on Ryan Newman. Rusty Wallace trying to challenge Ricky Rudd for 3rd spot behind these 2. Inaugural races have been very, very good for Jeff Gordon. He wanted Indianapolis in the first race there. He wanted California the first race there. Here he comes to the checkered flag. Gordon wins in Kansas City. Ryan Newman gets second.
Great job, guys.
Ricky Rudd barely holds off Rusty Wallace and Sterling Marlin for 3rd. Sixth time in 2001, Jeff Gordon is your winner.
Gotta slam the doors, baby. Gotta slam the doors.
He led 53 laps today, 5 different times out in front. Took the lead for the final time at lap 246 of 267. And held off a very determined youngster to get his victory.
Let's try talking to Ryan Newman as these cars come in. Ryan Newman, Benny Parsons, you read me? Might have turned his radio off.
Benny's on the line. Yeah, copy.
Hey, Ryan, you almost pulled it off, man.
We had a good car today. Thank you, Benny. It's just a great run for us. Finished second to Jeff Gordon. You know, there's many other champions out here, but he's a great one.
Hey, just watch how he's doing there out in the grass, making those donuts. You'll know how to do it when you finally pull off that victory.
Big coffee on that, but just a good day for the Altel crew, and good to have 2 Penske cars in the top 5. Just a great run for us overall.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Look at the skid marks from Jeff Gordon all the way through the grass. Came off the pit lane and just threw it out into the tri-oval. And by the way, with the drivers who've had trouble finding their way to victory lane lately, they gave instructions on how to find victory lane in Kansas this morning in the drivers' meeting. Jeff Gordon's the winner, and Chevy congratulates Jeff in the number 24 Monte Carlo on a big win today, and he'll tell you the only thing that comes close to Monte Carlo's reputation on the track is its reputation on the street. Monte Carlo, more champions depend on Chevy. We'll be there. Jeff Gordon's there in the Monte Carlo winner's circle. 58th victory of his 285 race Winston Cup career. And Bill Weber's there with him now.
Well, Alan, we talked about it on the pre-race show, but it was 5 years ago yesterday that Jeff Gordon took the checkered flag and drove into victory lane for the final race at North Wilkesboro, a short track in North Carolina that was very popular. Now it's new tracks, big tracks, major cities, but the same guy coming back to victory lane. He's been extremely successful, as you mentioned, in inaugural events. Pretty much came in here on a mission, I think, after the last couple of weeks. Wanted to show he could get back to victory lane. Also wanted to show he could protect his position in the points. Probably had a little emotional motivation this morning. His special guest at the drivers meeting was Matt Dahl, the son of United Airlines pilot Jason Dahl, who was aboard United Flight 93 that crashed in Pennsylvania. A kiss from his wife Brooke, some high fives, a fist pump, and he will celebrate in the confetti-filled victory lane. Handshakes all around. Congratulations. Welcome to Kansas.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Can't wait to come back. Man, what an awesome day for the DuPont Chevrolet team. We had a good car, top 2 or 3 all day long. I hate it for Rusty. That was a tough break for him, and, he had the car to beat. I think we had something for him there, though. We hung right onto his bumper that one time. If we could have got out in front of him, I think we had something for him. But, whew, what a great day. Just want to thank God for all the adversity this team has come through over the last, year and a half. And want to thank DuPont and, all the folks that really make this possible for us. Quaker State, GMAC, Pepsi, Fritos, Delphi. It's just a great organization at Hendrick Motorsports, and we're just so proud of this race team.
You had Matt Dahl with you this morning in the drivers' meeting, the son of pilot Jason Dahl.
We did, and it was very special, and this one's for Matt right here. He wanted to be here. He had to go home. I showed him where victory lane was earlier. I didn't know if I was going to be here, but he said, well, go out there and do it anyway for me. We'd love that, and this one's for Matt. He's a strong and great kid, and we were really happy to have him here with us today.
Look right in that camera and tell him you made it, man.
I hope he's home now, and we made it here, man. Wish you were here. We'll see you in Charlotte.
Congratulations to Jeff Gordon, the first winner here at Kansas Speedway. Alan?
All right, Bill, thank you. Here are the final results from today's 400-mile inaugural. Ricky Rudd, finishing 3rd, losing about 10 points to Jeff Gordon in the championship. Beautiful day here in Kansas City. 75,000 on hand, but it wasn't such a beautiful day for a lot of guys behind the wheel. Frustration, anger, crashes. Dale Earnhardt Jr. among them, involved in a late wreck. In the end, Jeff Gordon enjoyed his trip to Kansas City the most. He's won the inaugural Protection 1 400. For Wally Dallenbach, Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and our entire NASCAR on NBC crew, Alan Bestwick, so long from Kansas City, now off to the Gravity Games.